What is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mindfulness of the senses exercise, and how does it help to reduce anxiety? Let me first of all start with explaining a little bit how the anxiety arises in the first place, and then it will make a lot of sense that this grounding exercise helps to reduce your anxiety. So, whenever there is a trigger in the outside world that we perceive as dangerous, we might have a certain thought that arises. The thought creates certain emotions, and as a consequence, physical sensations come up. All of that creates even more thoughts, more feelings, more physical sensations. And then, in this way, we spiral downwards. And then that can even lead to a panic attack. And the idea is that whatever triggers us in the outside world might or might not actually be dangerous. But that doesn't matter so much because it is the effect that it has on us that is real. So even though the thoughts we have might not necessarily be true, the emotional feelings that we have and the physical sensations that we experience, they are real. So reminding yourself of this can really help reduce the sense of shame if we feel that we have overreacted. It is not something that we do on purpose, that our body does this by choice. It just overcomes us. So we perceive an external trigger or an external object as unsafe. It could be that our partner is not picking up the phone and we keep hearing it ring out. It might that they not text back. It might be that we are having a conversation and they have that look and it immediately makes us spiral. It could be an email from a boss that asks us to talk about something important. It might be an overcrowded train or the turbulence on an airplane. It could be anything on the outside of us that triggers this internal reaction. And what the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise does is it helps us ground in the here and now moment by using our five sense organs. So, by choosing an object outside of us that feels safe, we tell our nervous system that there is no danger and that it can calm down and go out of that fight, flight, or freeze response. So, this exercise is like a reset button, so to speak. So, we're going to use our sense organs to ground us in the here and now reality. So you can use every single one of your sense organs, your eyes, your touch, your hands, your ears, your nose, your taste. And in that way, we're going to help ourselves calm down. Now, you can forget about the sequence. You don't need to do this exact amount of numbers, but it's just kind of a tool to keep in the back of your in the back of your mind. So we're going to start with 5 things that you can see. Then we're going to do 4 things that you can touch. Then 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. So examples of 5 things that you can see might be the mobile phone that you are holding, or the clothes of the person next to you, or a certain color of an advertisement near you. And it is particularly helpful to pay attention to details that usually you would skip. So like the pattern on the skirt of the person who's sitting next to you, or really kind of the details of the buttons on your mobile phone, and really say to yourself what you are seeing. And then we're using touch, so you can touch your own skin and be aware of the moisture or the temperature of it. You can touch like the denim of your trousers or the softness of your jumper. You can touch the smoothness, the cool smoothness of a pen, or you can take your wallet out of your pocket and really like become aware of its weight and its shape and its texture and its temperature. So in that way, you can already tell that there is not much space in the mind left to keep spiraling with all these negative, obsessive, doom and gloom type of thoughts that are going around. And then we're going to use our ear, the senses of our hearing. So you pay attention to what you hear in that present moment. Maybe you hear somebody typing on their keyboard. Maybe you hear music at the neighbors, or you hear the birds sing. You can also pay attention to things that you normally might not hear, like the water rushing through the pipes, or the sound of your own breathing, or the rustling of your clothes. Then we're going to use the nose for things you can smell. So if there is something around you that you can walk towards and smell, that would be amazing. So if you see like a bakery and you go in and you really like smell the fresh bread, or you see a flower and you really go towards its petals and you take in the smell of that rose. But if that's not possible, you can smell like your laundry liquid or your shampoo or your perfume, anything that you pick up, unpleasant smells is also all right. And then the last one is taste. So maybe you have like the flavor of the toothpaste or the coffee that you drank earlier. Or if you get anxious quite frequently, it is really, really helpful to actually have some candy or chewing gum or a savory snack with you at all times. So you can then put it in your mouth and really connect with what you are tasting on your tongue. So the senses become more and more subtle, and this really helps to anchor you, to theater you into this grounded here and now moment. And that will help the anxiety to calm down. And then when you're a bit calmer, you can turn your awareness to your breathing and then start to assess the situation. Like, am I really in danger? And what is the best thing I can do right now? But that kind of resourcefulness of decision making is not available to our brain when we are in fight, flight, or freeze mode. May this exercise really help you. I wish you lots of inner calm, and thank you so much for listening.